This is Eastern Bartonshire Radio, and you're listening to the Crossface Podcast. Hello and welcome to the 4th edition now of the Crossface Podcast. I'm Ross, and instead of just one guest, we're joined by 3. We've got Mario and Jamie back, and for the first time we've got Big Fuzz.
Hiya.
How you all doing today? Starting with you, Mario.
I think we're now a stable now, let's be honest.
What are we calling ourselves?
Crossfacers.
Aye.
Crossfacers, that sounds a bit dodgy.
Aye, it does really.
Come on, use all of it.
So, what we're talking about first, Money in the Bank, that's a big story, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of big stories, but that is probably just edged out with, obviously what happened in Raw and stuff as well.
Mm.
But yeah, Money in the Bank was pretty damn good. Does anyone else feel that Owens and Cena just ruined the crowd? Like, the crowd just died after that?
Well, to be fair, it couldn't get any much better after that match.
To be fair, the two of them stole the show again, I think. Bit suspect in the ending, I didn't really enjoy that, but I understand as well it's got to further the feud that they've got going, but crowd-wise, they're always really into it, because I mean, Owens does this thing really special where he just kind of gets everybody behind him, and Cena's obviously got the love or hate attitude for the fans. You know, you either love him, you hate him, and you voice your opinion. So after that, it's kind of all downhill, innit?
Plus, I think Owens actually sort of looks like an underdog, like compared to Cena. Like any other time, he looks like the big monster, but just when he's with Cena, you just feel like he's the sort of underdog, doesn't it?
Funnily enough, I was talking to Jamie about something similar last week. After Cena cut the promo on Raw, I was saying to him, do you know, I almost felt as if Owens was in the he was in the face side of things, and almost felt like Cena was kind of on top of him and being a bit, do you know, holier than thou. I thought, do you know, I'm siding me Owens here. I think, do you know, take a step back, let Owens do his stuff.
I personally didn't like the way he did the promo, just like it's going to be a man beating a wrestler. It's like, well, he actually beat you already, so
Aye.
What's the point in you sort of saying all this?
I know, but that was it. Cena saying, you know, you're not a real man, you're not this, but he spanked you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I was expecting after that promo that Owens was just going to dominate and Cena was just going to do a wee dirty heel thing and just hold the tights or something, just something to kind of further the feud, but I think that might be where it's going with Battleground next.
See, the match could still have been the same, and as I says to Jamie, the finish would have been kind of Cena schoolboys him, holds the tights, wins the match because he realises he can't do it any other way, goes to shake his hand, he's like, good match, you know, you've proved yourself in my eyes, and then Owens turns and gives him an absolute tanking again, and things would still have been the same come Monday night, you know.
That as well, plus it kind of like leads it into like Battleground. You might have a 2 out of 3 falls or something like that, or some sort of last man standing type thing.
I think for the feud right now for them, it's maybe just a little bit too early for a gimmick involved. I think with Battleground involved, that it's going to maybe we will see Cena showing a kind of heelish side, then leading into SummerSlam, maybe a gimmick match and Owens going over cleanly.
Biggest thing holding Cena back is there room for a heel turn? Do you know what I mean? The more they push towards it, then the less money they're going to make on t-shirts from the kids, the less the appearances he's going to make for the charities, and I mean, I would imagine that's where a lot of Cena's money's coming from just now.
Well, Cena's money and whatever, but surely WWE should have something in place to push someone to super heights like Cena right now, so that, okay, we can afford Cena to go a heel turn, and maybe like Hogan with the NWO, you saw how like great that faction was at its best.
Aye.
And like, you watch old like WWF stuff, WCW, the crowd is obviously into this heel turn, and you see NWO shirts, even like the day that WWE are still selling updated shirts and stuff, so there's a big market for it.
So do you think bring back the Chain Gang Soldier?
Oh, Doctor of Thugonomics.
Oft. Brutal.
I was selling a lot of merch back then as well, wasn't
That's true. I've still got my Chain Gang Soldier basketball vest.
You disappoint me.
Oh man, it was a present. It was a present.
There's only so many excuses you can have. What's the excuse for having the whole set? Come on, you've told me that a few times.
Aye, I've got the purple headband and wristbands. I'm no shy. I was actually going to wear them today, but I could only find the headband.
You couldn't find your word. What is it?
Thug life.
Thug life. I'm just going to stay back in the corner here. I'm keeping quiet.
Hey man, it's just basic thugonomics.
Oh,
thanks, bringing it back.
Jamie, last week you thought I was wearing a John Cena shirt, didn't you? Because it was like the Rise Above Hate sort of logo, but instead it said Fight Owns Fight.
I tried to actually find my John Cena t-shirt today just to annoy you.
For God's sake. Honestly, what's up with Cena? Like, why are you all supporting him?
I didn't say I was supporting him. I just happened to have some memorabilia underneath my signed John Cena picture. That's a lie, I don't have a signed John Cena picture.
Yet.
Soon.
Other big matches happened in Money in the Bank. Tag team.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I totally didn't see that happening. Primetime players coming out on top.
So, but what happened to the primetime players? You know,
they split them up.
I know, but why? Why did they split them up?
Because Darren Young was just coming out as gay at that time, and I think his popularity kind of spiked.
So was it? But they never pushed him in a singles.
They didn't.
Role, and neither the big guy nor Titus.
Well,
they didn't really
Titus
push him.
Was on NXT for a wee while against Neville when Neville won the title.
I would have imagined it would have been better for them to leave the two of them together, because I mean they were decent
an
enough
established
at the time.
tag team.
Yep, and then all of a sudden they just get thrown back together randomly for was it for the big gauntlet match? Was it they brought them all?
What for? I can't remember. I think it was before then.
Was it no for the Ascension? Like they sort of needed an opponent and they attacked.
Yep.
I think it was Dan, and then Titus just came in it, and that was it.
So they just threw them back together again when they could just have left them, and then it would have been less peculiar to see them with the tag belts now, because essentially for people just joining in, they're a new tag team, whereas we know otherwise. But
we are better. We know better.
It just seemed a bit strange that they threw them back together. I'd quite like to see. I would like to have seen the Lucha Dragons against the New Day for the belts. I think Callisto's mental, absolutely mental. You look at the Elimination Chamber matches. Just laughed at JBL constantly saying, you know, get down, what are you doing up there? Why do you keep climbing? Stop it.
That dive for the Elimination Chamber could have went so wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. How many times have you seen that? They'll go wrong in like the indies when you're watching, even when you're watching on YouTube or that, and they go for the mad super backflip somersault splash and they end up landing in their face, and you're like, oh.
Well, we were just talking about it as you were pulling up. Paul London at Spaceballs.
Aye,
just landing on his face.
Right in his face.
Oh. I honestly thought, oh god, something's seriously messed up here. So it's pretty easy to do.
Aye. So anyway, Money in the Bank. What about the pre-show match then?
Oh god.
Oh,
is that
you jammy get. Everybody else was Barrett. No, Fuzz, cheeky roll up.
All about the spiders. It's all about little Jimmy, so it was.
So is that us finished about the tag team match?
Aye, that's all we've got to say about it. Unless you've got
nothing about Big E near enough killing himself doing that suicide dive outside. Looked like he'd landed on his face.
At least he started wearing pants under his singlet.
Always a bonus.
How could you see Little Wee?
So, Truth and Barrett. What shall we call him? King Truth? No, is it King? Oh, King, what's up?
Oh, that finish in Raw, that was just awful. I hated that. You know, just the quick roll up and then
it's just
beating them afterwards anyway.
It was brilliant though, he just came out as the Burger King. You know, the cardboard hat and the curtain, the shower curtain. Kind of keep on. Brilliant.
Like, are they still just going to like push Barrett about after winning a prestigious title?
It just seems as if he's another one of these guys that they don't know how to market properly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? They had him in the Nexus, wasn't it?
Nexus Core, then on his own. But
since he's been on his own, he's been the flavour of the week, and then he's been nothing, and then he's been bit part player, then he's been nothing, then he got injured.
The thing is, he's been multiple time Intercontinental Champion. If you hold that title in a higher regard, then multi-time Intercontinental Champ. Look who you've got as that. Like, you've got Shawn Michaels as one, Jeff Hardy as one. Like,
Bret Hart. That was always my go-to guy for that Intercontinental title.
Like, you've got a lot of really good guys there, but like,
I like Barrett. I think he's really good. I'd like to know what they were doing with him as well. Do you know, is he always going to be the mid-card player? Are they going to let him be more than that? Who knows?
Last year when he was doing the Bad News Barrett stuff, it was
so
phenomenal.
much, yeah.
And when he was in the UK for the Raw show, and RVD's just become #1 contender, just came out, Bullhammer, and it was...
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Just like, I'm not about to give up this title to a bloody Yank. And the crowd were just into it like, yeah,
Was that your English accent, was it?
Aye.
Was,
You'll hear lots of different accents as we go
top
through the
class,
show.
mate, top class.
Was that English?
I think that's what it was.
Who knows?
I was reading something about that earlier. It was like WWE doesn't know how to do their heels, because like with Bad News Barrett, they took away the bad news bit because he was getting over, and it's the same way Cesaro, they took away his swing when he was a heel because he was getting over. But surely they should get over like that, even if they're getting cheered.
What about Cesaro though?
Oh, I love Cesaro. He's just the absolute best. I love him.
It's different class.
Did you see the match with Kevin Owens on SmackDown?
Certainly.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Do we talk about spoilers like that, seeing as this will be aired later the day? And
well, we won't say who
last
wins.
night,
We won't say who wins and who loses, but just like he did his for the standing drop kick when Kevin Owens was like right at the top. That was just fantastic. And the suicide dive, I thought he was going to kill himself.
I like the tag team with Cesaro and
Tyson
Kidd.
Isn't Kidd injured right now?
Eyes.
Hurt himself again.
There was some more
really
Joe.
got a good run at it. It was a match against Joe in NXT.
I think either superstars or NXT was one of the other.
Well, did they say that Joe's going to kill you? that he did.
Listen, he's Joe's going to seriously injured you and you're going to put the tag team title picture t-shirt on.
And Cesaro's just going to get benched again or
it's a
put
shame.
in mid card.
So I think he's another one of these guys that they don't technically know what to do, because he's got the look, he's got the size, he's got the ability. I mean, his ability is second to none.
Crazy.
And he's for pound, he's got to be one of the strongest guys in.
Like, how many times have they shown videos of Cesaro lifting something, like chucking Big Show over last year at WrestleMania?
I mean, you're like
there's so many. What really killed it? Okay, he's not a great talker, but they're not giving him a chance to.
No, but then when Lesnar doesn't need to talk.
Exactly, like you've got Paul Heyman. When Cesaro went with Paul Heyman, it was way over.
Yep.
Lesnar was a goddamn heel. So how the hell put a face with a heel manager? It doesn't work out unless you want him to be a heel.
I mean, you look at the strong guys there is now. You've got Ryback, who a year ago when he was trying to get the Big Show up for the
Shell Shock,
Smith, the Shell Shock, he couldn't do it, and he ended up, I think he either gave him the meat hook or a big clothesline or a spear or something for the win, because he couldn't get him up. And you seen him like legitimately getting angry in the ring, and he's like, stupid, like these Hulk moves. and then obviously he managed to get him up now, but Cesaro just like throws the Big Show a bit like he's a balloon, you know. It's strength wise, the guy's he is a machine.
Mario, you were talking about Lucha earlier, weren't you? I think you're the only one out of four of us has watched it this week. I still need to. I'm going to watch it. I've just not had the chance yet.
Yeah, I think we'll keep Lucha for the end, because maybe somebody can stream it in their phone or something.
leave Lucha till we talk about one of the more important matches for Money in the Bank. What about the Bella versus the Page?
Oh,
I actually thought that was one of the better Divas matches I've seen since like AJ and Caitlyn.
Like they gave him a lot of time.
Yeah, 11 minutes on it.
It wasn't his typical botch fest either. So.
It's just the finish, the whole twin magic thing. It's just like referee, you can easily tell that's Brie and that's Nikki.
I know, different hairstyle, tissue down her top.
Yeah.
And what was it? Oh, I've got tattoos on my crotch.
Different.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, that was a weird thing for a PG show.
I know, like, look at my crotch, look!
I fast forwarded that show, man, because I knew the result. I was like, nah, I'm just going to fast forward it to the next one.
It was a decent Divas match, nothing on par of what that NXT takeover was like.
Takeover was brilliant, start to finish.
It's a different class altogether.
The stuff is coming out of there. You'd love to see it on mainstream TV, but does it lose its edge?
Yes.
Probably, aye.
And it depends who's also booking the main roster and just going, no, this'll do. When NXT guys and gals are just do whatever. As a
standalone promotion, it's up there. I would say wrestling wise, it's better than watching TNA.
Hands down.
Yeah. It's better than most promotions, to be honest.
I would actually, like you're saying, standalone promotion, I would love to see NXT turn. Like, touring the Hydro,
Aye.
they could easily sell out the Hydro.
Without a doubt.
Like, whereas the main roster, I have them maybe 3 months after each one, do 2 shows each a year.
The problem with that is though, the Divas matches are that good that you wouldn't have time for a pee break.
Half-time break. Just hold it for an hour and a half, like, oh! Excuse me, why have you got your hand on your... It's okay, I just need to go!
The last time I was at a live show, I think it was in the SECC, WWE live show, and we were just right at the front of the raised seating, and you know, we were sitting, and it was I can't even remember when it was or who was fighting, but I remember seeing his music hitting. Excuse me. I remember seeing his music hitting, and there was these kids that were walking along the front, and they got so excited that they all just started running towards the barriers, and one kid tripped up another kid who went face first and he had a bucket of popcorn and Pepsi everywhere.
Oh,
and I was
damn.
like, Cena sucks, eh?
I'm away for a pee.
Last time I saw Cena wrestle was at the Brayhead, and it was against Del Rio, and honestly, it was just amazing. Wee kids running, let's go Cena! Cena sucks! I done my throat in doing it.
I went to Raw down in Manchester last year, and I remember when Cena came out, you couldn't hear a word he was saying for the boos and the hissing and the. But see, when I watched it back, because obviously the time difference was different. By the time I got back up the road, Raw was only maybe about 20 minutes in, and it was totally edited. You know, you could hear Cena speaking, but there was very little crowd noise, and then there was like the "Let's Go Cena" chants, and I was like, pretty sure I was in that arena, and there wasn't many Cena chants. There wasn't many Cena chants at all. But then that's what they do, innit? That's how they get people to follow people. They just. Yeah. I remember it used to be the standing joke when we were younger, watching Superstars and Mania and the rest, that you'd be like, these people have got some money, they've got the same t-shirt on they had on 6 months ago, and they're still sitting in that same crowd. So because they would beef the cameras, see if there was like chair shots and that.
Aye.
They would just beef the cameras past the crowd, and it was like, hello dad. You know, somebody with a hello dad banner with the date on the bottom, happy birthday, and you're like, pretty sure that was last year.
Has that guy got an Ultimate Warrior sign?
Talking about old pay-per-views and stuff, have you ever noticed from 99-2000, bald guy, glasses, pink shirt, front row at the barrier?
Was that you?
No, was it?
You see him during like a few
you see him
don't you?
every pay-per-view,
Yeah.
like the odd like Raw highlight from a like highlight package, and I was like, God, this guy. I even noticed him in an ECW pay-per-view, and I was like, God, this guy must be bloody minted.
There was a guy that was at the front row at every ICW show as well, wasn't there? The guy with the long hair and the beard.
Marco.
Not ICW, sorry, ECW. long hair and the beard standing at ICW, that could be me.
And Fuzzy's just left the room.
I know who you're talking about, the guy with the
Sign
hat
guy?
and that. Aye.
What, hat guy?
That guy.
There's a hat guy and sign guy.
And that guy.
That guy.
There's a few guys in WWE. There's the Brock Lesnar guy that did the sort of action when Brock Lesnar came back in 2012. You see him all the time.
The Undertaker and...
There's a guy with like a white jacket that turns up all the time. I know. There's a guy with like a red cap, like an American guy. Just like, how can you
surely
afford
there must be
front row
American
season?
guys though that's all they do is they just go from state to state watching
Aye.
Raw, going to pay.
And you see some.
It's a fiver you always do.
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. No, I mean,
you see some signs on there, like 31 pay-per-views in a row.
I saw that.
Aye.
Like,
I was at the last one.
I was going, where have I seen this guy before? And I was thinking, alright, it's got to be one of the smaller ones. I actually saw the sign, and I'm like, how is this guy able to live? Like,
He must have one of the really good jobs where he does nothing all day, every day, and makes an absolute packet.
like yourself.
Not pretty much, except I don't get a packet. I don't have security guards bringing my wages to the door, put it that way. Anyway, Money in the Bank. Big Show Ryback.
Rubbish.
that was
Like,
like a match,
never
wasn't it?
liked it, man.
like why? Like they done it last pay-per-view with a dodgy finish. Like 2 pay-per-views in a row, and there was quite a few dodgy finishes on this pay-per-view as well.
How does this finish up though? Does it finish up with the Big Show as the IC champion, and then we're all sitting back going, "Oh great"? I mean, he's good at getting people over, right? But is he still relevant?
No.
I mean, it's like Khali, except I'm sure the Big Show can move a wee bit better because he doesn't have a
And he
coat-
can
a
wrestle.
He doesn't have a coat hanger stuck in the back of his jacket.
Is Cali no coming back?
Oh, don't
I've
say
heard,
that.
No.
I've heard that.
Didn't he kill somebody?
He did. He was
Did
a
he?
flapjack, in India, wasn't it?
Was it?
I'm
Really?
pretty sure he flapjacked the guy, and he was like 25 feet up in the air, because that's how that's how tall Cali is. But I think so. Don't quote me on it. But I know he's as far as I've read, he's a policeman, isn't he?
Aye.
In India.
Of
Quite a
course.
visual
Wait,
detail.
wait.
Imagine
unless
running
you run.
after somebody his size. You'd be like, alright, I'll just give myself up if you don't know any better.
Aye, but let's face it, he's got 2 bum knees though, so
No, I'm meaning like, you see him, you go, alright, I just give myself up. I won't even bother running.
I'd quite fancy the chase.
I'd fancy my,
I'm not the quickest guy in the world, but I'm pretty sure even I could outrun Cali.
I'd fancy my chances.
Although 2 steps and he'd probably catch up with you.
Just chop.
I'm sorry.
Instead of handcuffing you, just has you in the vice grip.
Pretty sure you can't escape for that. If it's as good as John Cena's SDF, I'm pretty sure you could just walk away unscathed.
Can we just jump back to the Owens match now you said that?
Aye.
Honestly, Kevin Owens was like a bobblehead there. Like, it was like, aye, any tighter, Cena, come on.
Cena's got the cheek to say though that nobody's submitted to my finishing move for ages.
Because you're not
Aye,
doing it, right?
because-
But, like, even though I absolutely despise the guy, Hogan saying, with the size of my arms back in the day, my finisher should have been a sleeper.
Yeah.
Right enough. Why isn't Cena doing that?
Well, that's
His
what I
arms
was-
are massive.
That's what I was saying these last week though. Cena's upper body is so big, then it must be difficult for him to have the flexibility to kind of put an STF on properly and make it look legit, because he's so bulky. So to get his arms clasped
Forgot
around
leg
and all
day.
the rest of it, it's quite like a bit mad.
Well, maybe you should change it up. Go, I've not been able to make anybody submit to STF in a while. Changing it up. Maybe trying different submissions and matches.
What about, right, here's an idea for you, don't know if you like it. John Cena gets a different finishing move, right? He speaks to maybe Stone Cold. He says, I've got a cracking idea for a finishing move. What about I get the stunner and I make it better? And he does a springboard stunner. How does that sound?
But make it not a finisher.
Oh my god, honestly,
threw it in.
worst move I've ever seen. It drives me insane every time he uses it, because
He can't catch them.
He can't catch them. And when he bounces off the ropes, it looks dead awkward. You're like, oh god, one of these times his Reebok pumps are going to slip and he's going to end up in his backside.
In the middle of the crowd, class. Some wee bird sitting next to him going, you're in there?
What was that meant to be?
Like, it nearly
Seriously,
landed
big
in
man.
his head with the Rey Mysterio pin. Like, what the hell were you doing? Okay, you want to spice it up, but don't do a move where you're going to land in your bloody head.
Want to spice it up? Give the guy a DDT. So I mean, give him a DDT. I mean, how see when he does the Faymaster as well for the top rope. You just it's cringeworthy, and I know it's one of his 5 moves, isn't it?
Well, I think that adds to 6.
The
might-
springboard stunner. Brings up his 7.
he did
See,
pull
end of
it.
the year, he's hitting 10. I tell you.
So one of these days, see when he bounces off the ropes to give him the shoulder charge, he's going to pull out a clothesline. I'm telling you, he wants this space. He must be. He'll be training for it. He'll work for it for months. But I'm telling you, he'll pull off a clothesline. You'll see it.
Was it bad that when Owens was doing his moves that it looked better?
It just looked more refreshing, didn't
It's
it?
like he can actually pull off the 5-knuckle shuffle.
That's why I loved watching Lesnar fighting Cena, because do you know, I like suplexes. I can never get tired of suplexes. That's why I loved watching. Can I say Benoit, or is it the guy who didn't exist?
No, this is
Yeah,
a
we can
Crossface
mention
podcast.
Benoit,
We can
yeah.
mention Benoit.
See watching.
Unless you call him as Voldemort or something like that.
It's been 8 years, I think we're over it now.
Like, I'm not going to say what I was going to say next to us. But so I loved watching Chris Benoit as a kid on Nitro and Thunder, and even on their pay-per-views. I liked watching Saturn for the same reason, and I loved watching Taz. I mean, Taz could suplex
Bam Bam.
he could suplex anybody from anywhere. See, like when he caught a leg and he just wrapped his arm around
Head
the
and
neck.
arm.
Yep, or he could just grab your wrists, suplex you, grab your foot, suplex you, get you by the nose and suplex you. I love watching suplexes. I think it doesn't matter when they're done. I think they look brilliant. Top rope superplexes and all the rest of it, but I've totally lost my chain of thought now. What I was talking about.
So, Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Owens. Another thing for that match, I forgot. it looked like he nearly went for the package pile driver.
Yep.
I was freaking out like, already knowing what happens and who wins. I'm like, come on, son, come on.
Aye, that's what I was talking about, Lesnar. That's why I loved watching him fight Cena, because of the amount of suplexes. You know?
Back in the room.
Suplex City. That's it. Thanks, mate. All I needed was 15 seconds. That's all I ever need.
It's a different subject altogether, but
I even liked, Eddie Guerrero's
The free suplex.
Three Amigos.
Three Amigos and all the rest. It must just be for I was a kid. Suplexes were the way forward. I just always think they look brilliant.
Suplexes are the future, people.
Hey, Brock Lesnar says
Suplex
it's got to be
City.
true. It's my next t-shirt, I think. Well, my wife doesn't like Brock Lesnar, so
Oh, how?
I think just because
His face.
Aye.
Same with Nicola and...
Aye, I think it's just
Couple of
because
mates.
he's a super heel as well. He's so good at what he does. I mean, it was
So,
like,
is he a heel or a face now?
He's got to be a face now because he's fighting the top heel of the company.
But Heyman was shaking Triple H's hand, so
know.
does... That's what I was saying.
I
Is he
know.
coming off as a heel or face now?
Funnily enough, you're talking about that. I was reading about that last night. That obviously they're going to have to make somebody heel. Like, maybe not necessarily an A2, but they're going to need to start bringing some more heels up because everybody's a good guy now.
Barrett.
So everybody's a good guy. I like Sheamus. I like Sheamus a lot. I think if they just let him run with the whole bully gimmick, then he's going to be great again. So
Was he great in the first place?
like a big guy. I think he's brilliant. That's because we share the same colour of beard. He's got the same haircut now.
Same pigmentation of skin.
That's it, aye.
I'm pretty
Bums when
sure.
it rains. Aye.
Pretty sure his haircut's better than yours.
It is.
Oh.
It certainly is. I've
Those are fighting words.
car park. Pause.
I'll be back in a minute.
No, you
No,
won't.
I won't. Let's to be fair, I'm not coming back. Well, thanks for having me on the show.
That's the conversation I was having. Do you know why it was a bit peculiar that Sheamus won the Money in the Bank match?
Yeah.
But then looking back, he got quite badly injured this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of missed out in the push that he would have got otherwise. So it almost looks as if, I mean, I've listened to the podcast from before and seemed like he's quite a good mate to Triple H, and he got quite a bit of stick about that at the start because people were like,
Aye, because he was like
look at you chumming
world champ within 9 months or something.
Aye, but see, even like when he first started, he get invited to go and like train in the gym and that with Triple H, and it kind of put some people's like noses about to join. I think it was was it Jericho's podcast that was listening to him on?
It's
Possibly.
Jericho's he was on.
Aye. And he was just kind of saying stuff like that. He's like, I didn't know better. It's just people asked me to go train, so I went and trained. I think it was like Triple H and William Regal. And
Thing is, he doesn't want to be like, no training with you. It's like, you don't want to close yourself off for folk. You want to
that's it.
make friends. Though, as you know, friends can turn into, I'll get you a good world title match, don't worry. As
Or
for
they can-
WCW,
Or they can go the other way and they can mess everything up for you.
just bury them.
No,
Hold
but
on, here's a shovel.
it's just that's the reason why I think Sheamus get the rise to power again. I think.
Here's a question though:
legitimate
is he
heel
going to
for you.
win with the Money in the Bank?
I give up.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be with the Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar match, if I'm honest. Like, not the Battleground one, but I think if they have like a rematch at SummerSlam, they'll probably do it there.
So is that Reigns out the title picture together then, do you think? Like he's
I don't
gonna
know.
Oh,
I
Reigns
think
is,
they'll up,
Reigns
Reigns.
is battling Wyatt now.
I know,
Like,
so
I
I
think
guess-
what
Well, that
they've
was-
done is, alright, we've put him in the WrestleMania. He isn't getting over just yet, so maybe we'll just hang fire. Maybe next year at some point.
Still don't get why they had the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt fighting at WrestleMania, but that's
A different subject.
it is. I like Wyatt. I like Wyatt a lot. I think he brings a lot to the table. I think he's totally different than everybody else I've ever seen. He's almost like a cross between the Undertaker and Old School Mankind. Do you know what I mean? But he brings enough intensity, and his promo was brilliant. So
His facial expressions as well.
You hang on every word. I mean, I've watched back some of his promos, and it makes no sense.
You seen some of his
Amazing.
NXT stuff?
Yeah, but it makes no sense, and you think to yourself, I've come away from that, and I don't have a Scooby what that guy's talking about. But bloody hell, is that good? Do you know what I mean? So I think he'll be the big reason why Reigns either rises or falls. I think if Wyatt can pull him through and make him like a superstar, then there you go, world champion in the making.
Has to make him look strong though.
Aye.
It's Reigns, like, your cheeky face there. No, Reigns promo works. The only thing I think that really needs work on, like the one that was on Raw, I think it was last week, he was saying about how Rollins is the worst champ ever. Just like, no,
It was some
get
of the
yourself
things,
a catchphrase on
it
you.
was some of the things he says a couple of months ago in his promos as well were like proper cringeworthy. But he was the quiet guy in the Shield. He was the believe the Shield kind of guy. But so does he really need? Does he really need to talk? Can he not just be a face monster? Can you not get a face monster?
A face monster.
Face monster.
Can you not get a face monster?
I think chuck him with a manager.
I think so.
But that would mean WWE would have to actually have managers.
Could you always like see him if Lesnar never came back? Could you have saw him with Paul Heyman? Like
No,
I was
being a
hoping
heel?
for WrestleMania.
We talked about that. We talked about that before. How it would have been cool if he was getting jealous of Ambrose or whatever, and he cost him the match and won Money in the Bank and beat.
Aye, just
But just
cashed
like,
in,
aye,
just
that's-
like dirty
that's
heel,
it,
like,
dirty
oh
heel.
well, mate, sorry, I've got it, you know. I was actually quite surprised with the main event for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
The promo just before it, Rollins just walking in the back, Kane, J&J's just like... And I was surprised Stephanie didn't go, oh, we've got plan B ready
Yeah.
if you don't stop Ambrose winning, with Sheamus just standing in the background. I think that would have just been like, oh, are they going to like bury their heel with another heel? Like something just to have in the background. Or if you mess up, oh, don't worry, you'll be forgotten about because we've got this guy here.
Did you guys see Ambrose's interview afterwards? Like, they didn't show it during the show. It was like a sort of YouTube
the post-show?
exclusive. Aye.
They've done quite a lot of. It was almost like press conferences, like after Extreme Rules and stuff.
Right.
It was like with the Shield and stuff. Just
How good is Ambrose though?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
he's absolutely mental.
Yeah, he's as mad as a bag of cats.
See if you shaved him bald and gave him a wee goatee, he's my new Stone Cold.
His hair's receding pretty well, so I think see give a year or two.
I've got the half Dean Ambrose, half Stone Cold, bald in the side and long at the front. That's just. Did you see? I'm loving the interaction he's having with Kane now. I think they've been pushing for months.
Big
the
Red.
return of the Big Red Machine.
Oh, God,
and I thought in Money in the Bank possibly. Do you know?
After Raw,
But to begin with though, I thought, let's see when he put himself in the match, I was kind of hoping to myself, I hope he's in the back to do a segment where he's like, he's looking at the television and his mask's still in the Perspex box and he's
like they did last year.
Yep, and like, oh, because they teased it last year. But I think the way they're doing it now, with all the stuff with Ambrose and even Rollins, that it's getting to the stage where I'm actually looking forward to Kane being legitimate again. You know, he's not got long left. He's an older guy. He's getting past it. But I think, do we get one more title run for the Big Red Machine, or do we just let him dominate and do what he does best? Is he going to annihilate Rollins?
I hope so. I hope SummerSlam, just whatever happens in the next two pay-per-views, just SummerSlam, just
see the
return the Big Red.
The Ambrose interview and the backstage segment, with Kane on Raw. Just I laughed from start to finish. Do you know, he's standing there, he's eating crispy M&Ms and he's like, this is what I love, what you love for. And you just see Kane getting angrier and angrier because Kane's face is brilliant. He's really good for a guy that wore a mask for most of his career. The faces
I think
he
that's
can pull
obviously
is,
why he's out of costume right now, is Corporate Kane. It's
and J&J security, the midget security guards, brilliant.
That we were talking about it, like
Joey Mercury winning his first match in 10 years on Raw. He's legitimate again.
Well, he did beat the world champ, so
that's very true. So does that not put him in line for a title shot?
Technically, aye.
Possibly after Lesnar, you know, like
so
Rollins survives.
Let's talk about Battleground. Is Lesnar going to win? I don't think so.
No.
I actually think he will.
I think he'll get disqualified. I think he'll absolutely demolish.
I think Lesnar will beat him, and then there'll be a rematch at SummerSlam, but the Authority will get Sheamus to cash in to make it triple threat so they can take out Lesnar. I know they've already sort of done that with WrestleMania, but I think we could see it again.
Like the whole thing of, alright, the handshake on Raw between Paul Heyman and Triple H, does that mean, we've got a new guy that's all about the company who he wants our help doing stuff? Is that what they're going for? Are they just forgetting, alright, Lesnar was so over, and just when he ripped apart everybody in Raw, are they just forgetting that?
Aye. But that was it. A couple of weeks ago, when Cole and JBL and Cole in it, they got a doing off of Lesnar.
Aye.
Right? And then all of a sudden Lesnar's back in the ring And JBL was like, oh, he's a beast, he's great, he's this,
I
he's
know.
that. And you're
Why
like,
didn't they get up and get out?
Is
Just
that-
like, okay, right,
Pretty sure-
I'm done.
pretty sure a couple of weeks ago Michael Cole had a restraining
lawsuit.
order and a warrant out for Lesnar's arrest. They must have forgot about it. They must have got Jimmy Chang.
Continuity, one of my favourite.
That's because we
Plot points.
Because we are smart marks though.
I know, we're smart.
Middle-aged men that love watching other middle-aged men.
Oh,
as Spandex,
middle age, what are you on about? I'm a... well.
Well, I'm 20, so I'm alright.
You're only 20? Just
Oh, young pup. Oh, fresh meat.
You've had a hard paper run.
almost as hard as mine. I'm only 16.
Does that mean
Twice.
does that mean I'm the oldest?
You're the oldest, mate. Anyway, we're talking about Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
I mean, we've talked about a few matches from it, but we've actually
like-
not talked about the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh,
To be fair,
you think that would be the first thing on our minds, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Money in the
aye,
Bank.
Money in the Bank. What about that Money in the Bank match? I
Aye.
don't know. I thought the
Reigns looked strong.
They did.
the standout points for me, Neville getting the RKO off the ladder.
Oh,
for a
Beautiful. That was just some moment. Orton on his
Aye.
knees, just like looking up, like, oh
Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna get it. Then he's staring at Neville's arse next, just like,
start. I
whoa.
was disappointed with Kofi Kingston in the match.
Aye.
I thought we would have seen more high spots for him. I thought we would have seen a wee bit more interaction with him and Neville, because obviously they're roughly
The two
the same
acrobats
size.
in the match.
They're both high flyers. I would like to see a wee bit more interaction of them trying to one up each other. Do you know, I'm going to fly for here. Oh well, I'm going to go up this bigger ladder, and I'm going to fly off of this. Oh wait a minute, I'm going to go up this bigger ladder again. I thought New Day would maybe have had more to do in the match, kind of trying to help
Aye.
Kofi out.
But
I
then
feel like
Reigns
scoot him
just
up.
round that.
aye.
Look at the WrestleMania 17. Rhino came out.
Yeah.
Was it? He put Christian on his shoulders and climbed the ladder.
Mhm.
Why didn't he do that? All right, he didn't need to get the briefcase, but it would have been a good spot.
I think personally, looking back at other Money in the Bank matches, I think we might be a wee bit more spoilt. But I think they all spent too much time outside the ring. There was a lot of
Exactly.
the time in the match where it was the focal point was one guy in the ring or two guys in the ring, and everybody was lying sparkled outside the ring. But the match wasn't long enough to warrant the fact that everybody was knocked out.
And there wasn't any big
There wasn't huge
moves,
spots,
crashes, where
No.
Barely any use to the ladder for
Exactly.
anything other than
I think
to climb. And
powerbombing Kofi Kingston on it
yeah,
twice or something.
oh, he
Well, it was
powerbombed it,
powerbombed
then Neville
Kingston
and
onto
then
Neville
powerbomb, aye.
of. So that was essentially the highest spot on it, really.
Aye,
I'd love
and
to-
Reigns diving over and
Yeah.
everyone.
What about a red arrow for the top of the 20-foot ladder? How good would that have been? Like, take everybody outside.
Oh, aye.
I mean, he's not going to do it to
Aye.
one guy. The ring would just disintegrate, but for the top of the ladder, outside, 955
No,
degree
it's-
splash.
Is it just me, or does Neville not need that cape? It just looks
I got it,
ridiculous.
brilliant. Aye, that's brilliant.
Capes are cool.
I know, they're cool and
If I
superheroes.
could have
Unless you're watching The
Unfortunately-
Incredibles. Unless you're watching The Incredibles, then capes are no
No capes.
longer required. Aye.
It just looks stupid. But
Is it because he's got elf ears? Is that what it is?
No.
Leave the guy alone
I
if he
didn't
wants to wear a
say
cape.
in about his facial features.
I think he's brilliant.
Are in, but do it for the cape, man. Come on, it didn't work for Madonna. All right.
You will too.
I'm disgusted. I'm taking my cape off.
Jamie has
I'm
removed
capist.
his cape.
I've just came back after this kicking that I've got.
Ah, Jamie,
No,
you're too
you're
polite in this
no, you're
video.
No, you're slagging my
It is a
cape.
nice cape. It is a nice cape. Just lose it for the podcast, mate.
Madonna wasn't using it.
Fair enough. There was just one high heel hole in the bottom of it for which she fell there.
One previous owner.
One careful owner, why is there this tear up the back? Anyway, Money in the Bank.
Wrestling.
This is what happens when you've got too many people in the room.
So the Money in the Bank match.
The end was just ridiculous. Just Sheamus grabbing his hair and just
It was like,
like,
the eye.
get off my ladder. That
the man-
wasn't an
eye
Irish
I was
accent.
going to say that was like
that was just anger.
that was a total class reach.
I know.
Get off my ladder.
I don't want to even attempt an Irish accent, so I'll just butcher it.
He thought they were after his pot of gold, so threw him off the ladder. How does
Oh, there you go. Ambrose going after it. Oh, why is there a pot of gold in this briefcase? So the gimmick. You are booking this.
Aye. As I said to you before, I think that's why ultimately Sheamus won it. I don't think
To have a pot of gold.
Aye. Wyatt appearing.
That was shocking. I'll give him that.
I definitely didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
At least they didn't go with the trying to make Wyatt out of smoke again.
A hologram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think. Aye, as I said to you before, I like Wyatt. I like what they're doing with it. I think Reigns and Wyatt will be good. Because I don't think Bray Wyatt can do any wrong except for losing to Undertaker. But that was me booking for, that was me booking for the house again. Do you know, I says to Jamie for weeks in work, I'm like, how cool would it be if it's a total screw job and the Undertaker comes out and lies down, lets Bray Wyatt pin him, and he's been priming Bray Wyatt up as the new Undertaker the whole time. I'm like, how cool would that be? He's the new dead man, he's the new eater of souls. How cool would it be if that was Bray Wyatt for you? And he's like, it's not going to happen.
Because he twisted his ankle.
I was like, a boy can dream. So have we covered Money in the Bank then? Are we going so what's everybody's impression on the Money in the Bank match then? I reckon it was great. It's not the best.
It was
Money
average.
In the Bank match.
It was
alright. There wasn't a lot of big spots. There wasn't a lot of.
But
focal
this
points,
this also means with not a lot of big spots for it, that next year, whoever they've got coming up for NXT and stuff, like it's probably going to be a spot fest and it's going to steal the match.
I'm just going to put
steal
my
the event. Sorry,
got to put my hat in the ring here and say Owens is going to win it next year. Done.
I'll go with Finn Balor.
I don't know.
If Owens is in it, Owens is winning it. There you go.
If Ambrose in it, prediction, he's winning it.
Oh, who knows? It could be a new superstar. Maybe Uha Nation will come up and be like the next big thing next year.
Don't ruin my dreams.
Did he make it through the next round of Tough Enough then?
Uha Nation? I don't think he's in Tough
No,
Enough.
he's in NXT.
Oh, is he?
He gets signed in NXT.
He's been in vignettes. I think he's had like a match already. I heard somebody saying it's recorded, so that might be like next week or 2 weeks.
Like he was at the. Him and the others were at in the crowd and takeover.
Right. The reason I was asking was just because I've seen that he's still got some kind of indie shows.
Well, so is Joe and Rhino. Rhino's coming up in ICW for Shug Sis Party.
Samoa Joe. Sorry, I was just shaking my head. I love Samoa Joe.
He's still going.
When I first saw it, when I heard the music hitting, I was like, on the NXT, I was like, almost sounds like Samoa Joe. And then he kind of tossed out onto the ramp, and I was like, no danger. Welling up and all that. I was like, oh my god, it's Samoa Joe.
Although I've got to say, I really don't like his theme music. I think they need to change it.
Nah,
it's
something.
It's too much like the TNA one, and the TNA one was garbage as well.
Yeah,
and I wish you get a weird pair of shorts as well. They bag it. It's almost like a skirt he's wearing. Like I'm like, why?
Aye.
I don't mean I want to see him in a pair of hot pants. Sorry, that sounds
remember
really
when he was
dodgy,
doing the Nation of Violence
shorts.
and he'd kind of like the tribal kind of
tights?
Aye.
The brown tights though. I was like, she stole them from Shawn Michaels.
dodgy
brown tights.
That'll
be mentioned in worst attire when we do it. Top 5 worst attire.
I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the time I watched TNA, it was to see guys like Samoa Joe.
Oh, aye.
Samoa Joe in the X Division was something else.
Like he's not an X Division weight class, but he is
he made
beast.
See, watching him fighting Loki and AJ Styles and even like say Jay Lethal and things like that. Do you know? They were the proper. They're the reasons why I watched TNA. The X Division years ago, different class. Ultimate X matches and the rest with Daniels and Kazarian.
Like the Unbreakable 2005 Triple Threat X Division title match main event in a TNA pay per view.
Yep.
Bloody hell! Like that is by far what you're on about. Money in the Bank guys sitting out and stuff, and focuses on 2 guys. If one guy was out, it was because he was getting a tanking.
Yeah, that's why I like the TNA match. See the one where they've got the cage outside, the wee cage.
But King of the Mountain.
Yeah, that's coming up on
Slammiversary, which is actually going to be live for the first time in the UK.
Yep, on Challenge. The only problem is they're going to fill it with commercial breaks. I know because I hate it. It drives me insane. It's like Raw. What was it? I think in the first hour on Raw last week there was like 17 breaks.
No, that you're counting.
I actually read this somewhere because I fast forward through it. Nah. I missed I take the dugout walk when Raw starts, and then it gives me 15 minutes to play with either side to fast forward.
I remember that. I stayed up for like Raw 1000 because I thought it was like a big show, and just like every 5 minutes there was like an advert. It was like
what really annoys me is the adverts in between matches.
Oh yeah, I hate
that. I used to see when they moved the pay-per-views for Sky Sports and they had a few on Channel 4, and Channel 4 still had the breaks in the middle of it. It used to drive me nuts.
Like I mind Royal Rumble 2001, just maybe so many guys in, then it's a big show, and then it just cut to a break, and I'm like,
Some
Like
woman
3
doing a show.
in the morning, like, what the hell? You break to the Big Show returning.
The Big Show comes out and then you've got some old woman putting Pringles in her trolley and that's what?
But then you get a highlight after it going, this is what happened during the break.
I know, Big Show eliminated all these guys during the break.
Because you come back after the break and there's only one guy in the ring. You're like, there was 17 a minute ago.
He used one guy just to knock the rest of the guys out.
That's it. So money in the bank, guys.
Aye, good show. We've spoke a lot about it, aye.
Oh, we're nearly an hour in and I think we've covered the matches.
Aye.
We've definitely covered all the matches.
So what about Money in the Bank spill out onto Raw?
I thought Raw was really good this week because last week it like started amazingly well, like Owens and Neville, and this went downhill. But this week it was sort of like consistently good. Apart from like Barrett and Truth, which we've went over already. I think.
Barrett and Truth. See, I loved the Ron Truth gimmick where he was just a nutcase. Do you know, he's a lower to mid card guy, but he had a gimmick. He was a nutcase. He had an invisible kid with him.
Yeah,
Little Jimmy.
A wee bit dodgy. Maybe little Jimmy was in his 30s. Who knows? Maybe it's just weird than our Truth. I mean, you're pretty short yourself, Ross. Not how I imagined you. So, I mean, that's to me, that's enough to establish a guy. Give him a gimmick that he can run with, that the kids can like, they can laugh at. I mean, he can't wrestle worth a damn.
I know,
He's
having
gonna
to have a wee war break
20
during that
euro.
gauntlet match.
See the stuff on Raw before Money in the Bank as well, where everybody was coming out to interrupt Kane and then R-Truth came out. I thought that was genius. Absolutely genius. I mean, did somebody put him up to it? Did they know about it before, or did somebody just say him backstage, right, Truth, you're turning out? And he's like, let's do this. Just thought it was brilliant. When I'm in this match, you do know you're not in this match, R-Truth. Right, sorry guys.
My bad.
Aye.
Enjoy the show.
It was a good wee in joke, I thought, just because it's like he's always in like an extra guy in these kind of
Kevin
matches.
Nash Sony number.
Oh, what big good tag team? Ambrose and Truth.
Why?
Because they're both crazy.
Ah, right. I was looking for something with the name. I'm like, R. Ambrose.
Rambros.
Ambrose, eh? Sounds like you've been watching dodgy videos again, mate.
Oh, never.
So anyway, starting Raw, the Dusty tribute.
Oh god, poor Dusty.
Sorry for having to bring it up and lower the tone, since we've all been laughing for the last hour. But to me, I mean, no one person that's died for the wrestling is bigger or better than the others. But Dusty just kind of hit home. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether it's just because he's still got 2 kids that are heavily involved in the market, or whether it's just because he was an all-round genuine nice guy.
Yeah.
But do you know, it really upset me. Do you know what I mean? Although the very first thing he says, was it the blue-eyed £235 man. I was like, you never £235 in your life. In your life. So when he was standing there, he must have
Well,
been...
I had to get to that weight at some point.
I went, alright, so he was maybe £230 when he was 15. You know what I mean? I thought Dusty was great. Everything he done was great. In fact, the night that I found out they died, we must have been just before my
Christopher Lee as well died that day.
Aye, that's right. We ended up watching a couple of old WCW pay-per-views because War Games, where it was Dustin and the Nasty Boys. They were fighting Terry Funk and another couple of fellas whose names have escaped me now, but it was funny. Just watching the back of these like Nasty Boys t-shirt on with Dusty on the front. I was like, just watched back a couple of matches and thought, you know what, he did have something special. Do you know, he was never the build, he was never that athletic, but do you know, he had something special.
He could talk.
He could talk. Aye,
he can still talk.
Yeah.
Did you remember when the Shield against the?
That's right.
That's what I think Stephanie sort of was angry at him because he went sort of off script, but that's what you're meant to do. That's what makes it natural.
He didn't look well then either, though.
No.
I see him starting to get really thin and.
Aye. And that was the end of the tribute video as well. It's him in the NXT ring saying "Happy Trails." I just got
that's the bit I was about to say. How the quote at the end was just brilliant.
Well, if I thought it didn't get any worse, I stayed up and watched NXT. It was a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And seen him on the ring at the start. I'm like, oh geez, here we go again. Here we go again. But you could legitimately see it in people's faces just how sad they were.
Like you'd seen Paige at Money in the
Skull
Bank,
Pass,
like she
yeah,
was getting
dedicated
proper
her
upset.
match, but you like see her like welling up at the front of the NXT crowd, and you see Owens, and Owens can't even look up, and you've got all the you just look at it's a who's who of they are under the impression that they got there because of the treatment that they got for Dusty Rhodes.
A lot of tweets from the NXT wrestlers were saying like, oh, he treated us like his kids, and I was just going through them and I'm going, oh no.
It makes you, gives you that lump in your throat, doesn't it? It's just how good some. I mean, you take from one extreme to the other. There's other guys that have ran the place that have not necessarily been as kind to the talent, but then it's their way of justice. And Dusty obviously got where he was with being a genuinely decent fella. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, there's a lot of folk in NXT. I'll say, you know, I'm only here today because of the treatment I got for Dusty Rhodes. It's testament to his character. So I mean, I kind of half read through the eulogies that Goldust and Stardust had written, and you know, it just shows you that even although, I mean, I think when Goldust was going through the hardship in his life, with the drink and the drugs and the rest of it, they didn't have as close a relationship with Dusty as he would have liked, but it just kind of shows you, reading through the eulogy that he wrote, like just how much that they meant to each other and just how much that they all came together as like a really close family, and it was dead nice. But rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes.
Question for you: do you know who the last person he gave the bionic elbow to?
Who was that?
Steve Carino?
Dean Ambrose.
Was it Dean Ambrose?
Oh yeah, forgot.
He was the last person that got that.
There you go.
How is it that Ambrose always gets like with the legends? Because there's that he had
Jake the Snake,
Damien. He fought the Undertaker.
Didn't
in his
Damien
last
like
match.
pure crap on him? And
that's right.
Ambrose was like,
you can see him smiling as well.
You can see him. I
He's
don't know if he crapped on him. I think Jake the Snake like put him on his face, and he's just like buckled laughing. He's supposed to be up to it, and he's like.
You probably would mark it though if you had like Damien put on you, wouldn't you?
I don't know about that, but
yeah, you'd freak it.
He's gonna hit me.
So NXT, I thought NXT was pretty interesting this week. We got some footage from ICW, which we're always talking about here.
See if you pause in the middle.
27 minutes.
Yeah, 27 minutes.
27 minutes. You'll see maybe a bit of me, but mostly you, Fuzz.
It's always
because that's what everybody always says. It's like, Fuzz, we saw you at the wrestling.
We saw you on the telly, big man.
It's like, you ever saw that guy next to him?
Did you see Jamie? No,
was he there?
Was he there? Well, at least we got a full look at you this time. You were there this time.
Yeah, both on the network. There you go.
Yeah, so we made it.
We made it.
That's it.
That's yours. Podcasting done.
If you want my autograph, just come in my trailer.
We're just doing this for fun.
So NXT,
another good show.
I always think NXT's brilliant. Do you know, I don't always watch it as religiously as I would like, and I think it's more laziness on my part because it's on the network as opposed to on the Sky Planner. And I liked it better. I didn't like it better when it was on Sky, but I like it now that it's on the network. I can just
watch it whenever.
I can watch it whenever I like. But as I say, I get lazy, and I forget about it. But I always try to catch up with it either a week later or sometimes I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time. But I can't see any wrong with NXT. If you start to finish every week, I think it's solid. I think it's brilliant, and
the fact it's on the network with no breaks is just a positive.
Yeah.
Plus, it was a good start to it with Enzo Amore.
The triple tag, 6-man tag.
He's just brilliant. It's like, he can get away with wearing socks and
Big Cass reminds me of
Edge.
I was going to say Test.
I was going to say Edge.
Aye.
I suppose you're kind of mixed of the two. He's got
It's
the height.
a bit of more a talker than Test.
Aye, but I mean, he's got like the height and the hair and the build, and because he's not as jacked as Edge was, but he's good. I like him. I think as I keep calling them, the new FBI. I think they're brilliant. I think your man Enzo, he can talk the talk. He's got the look. He's different. He's different. Plus he can wrestle, which is pretty decent.
I just love how it was a few weeks back. He was in a tag match and he was just kind of like, no, I'm tagging in, and he's getting pure ragdolled, and Big Cass is having to come in and try and save it. He's just a cocky face, but he can't back it up.
What about Blake and Murphy? They just kind of shot into the scene for nowhere.
They're kind of boring.
I don't think they're boring. I think that there was rumours that someone had holding them in high regard as they debuted.
Right.
So obviously, gave him a tag titles right out of nowhere. You
just
know.
The first time I seen them, I thought they were just. Remember when you used to watch Superstars and that, you would have Shawn Michaels fighting Davy Johnson for doing the scheme. Do you know what I mean? They just have
Doing the
vocals
scheme,
that-
Davy Johnson. I remember
What a
Davy
match.
Johnson doing the scheme.
What a match!
What a match that was.
5-star. No, sorry, 6-star.
Do you know what I mean? They used to have like nobody's fighting the superstars, and when I first saw Blake and Murphy, I thought that's what I thought. I thought they're just coming out to job, and then to my surprise, a couple of weeks' time, they're tag team champions. But their entrance music and their pyro
Oh, the dubstep.
gives me a sore read.
I kind of look at it like when it comes on the screen, it's like I
Aye,
feel
no,
like
that-
it's like an
there
epileptic
you go.
fit or something.
There you go. There you go.
Uh,
They're decent. I like some of the double team stuff they're doing is really good.
Hmm.
And they're decent. I don't know where did Alexa Bliss come into it?
Takeover.
But how did
Oh,
she?
aye.
But was that
They,
just like nowhere? Wasn't it? She
Blake
hadn't
Murphy
feared the
were
match.
kind of scouting Carmella to be
Aye.
like, come join us, we've
Aye.
got gold and
I
whatever.
remember
And
that.
then she was like, ooh, no, my boys, ooh.
Is that your Italian? Yeah.
Hey, ho.
Mamma
American.
mia.
I'm a quarter Italian now, alright?
Aye.
Don't make me go full FBI on you.
Did you leave that quarter in the house? Did you?
Aye.
Because that's the worst Italian accent.
No, I wasn't doing something. I was
What
just...
was? Just talking them. Anyway,
Aye, anyway.
Alexa Bliss.
So, Carmella and Alexa Bliss were
yeah,
going
they
to
were
be
feuding. Yeah.
feuded. And then, obviously, just went
She's
up.
there feuding the match and helped the boys keep the titles. What do you think, Alexa Bliss?
I think she's good.
I think she's better now that she's ditched
Aye.
this kind of almost frozen gimmick.
Aye.
She's better than Dana Brooke, I know that.
Oh, glorified stripper. Honestly, there's what is the need for like? Oh, Dana Brooke is away doing the Arnold Classic here and there. Get her off TV. Have her do more matches and learn the trade before coming in and just acting like a diddy.
Do you think she does
Good
that
save.
arm thing when she's at the competitions?
Oh, that's her glorified stripper act. There was a pole behind her in the past.
At least when she's doing that move, she's not doing Emma's dance.
Evil Emma.
Because it was only a matter of time before she really hurt somebody doing that, wasn't it?
I know.
So she's back as a heel now.
Yes. Her
I,
and
li-
Dana
I like
Brooke.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
Evil Emma. She's pretty cool.
Last week
Oh.
you missed it. Eva
What did I
Marie
miss?
is on NXT, want to wrestle the best. Your
Oh,
favourite, Jamie?
Never knew who she was.
Talking about blue pants.
Blue pants.
She's something else. She's proper.
I saw
proper
the-
jobber
the
in
bat
NXT,
name when
but
I-
she's really good.
I typed in her name and saw like all the stuff that she's
Did you
done.
go to Google and just type in
That's
blue
like-
pants? First picture, SpongeBob and a pair of blue eyes.
all I got was a picture with her name. It's like, I've got to type it in. Oh, that's blue pants.
What did you do? Log into the computer as me
I
and then
did,
search for that?
Oh, Kenny.
Oh, you use my real name. I'll let you use that one, yeah.
Oh no. Can we call it your alter ego?
Like Dave Jones for doing this game. Big Charlotte.
Oh, I love Charlotte.
Aye.
That's something else. She's. If she was a man. No. I know this is. If she was a man, I reckon she'd be on the main roster already.
I really don't know why she's not. Like
Because
everybody
they
that's
can't use
lost
her friends.
everybody that's lost their title on
Yeah.
NXT has then within 2-3 weeks, boom.
But mate, you put,
Main
her,
roster.
you put her on Raw, there's nobody could beat her.
That's
I
it.
know.
I mean, her and Paige would have
Oh,
decent
aye.
matches, and we see Paige as good as Paige was again. But the
She
now,
would tank them.
I mean, would you put her up against Tamina Snuka? I mean, she might have got the height and the size for her dad, but she certainly
Aye.
didn't use wrestling ability.
I've got to admit, I would actually love to see Charlotte answering like John Cena's US challenge and get
No,
like a
you-
first sort of mixed gender match. That'd be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
good. Fact,
Well, that's the thing. You can't hit a woman now.
That was one of the WCW pay-per-views I watched before Money in the Bank, and it was it Medusa fighting one of the boys for 3 count.
Oh,
He was the champion
Evan,
at the time. Evan
Kennedy,
Courageous.
yes, aye.
He was the champion at the time.
I didn't start making out during the match. Oh no, sorry, that was Nitro.
Aye.
It was a US title tournament,
it
and
was-
she just like
Tell me, see
blue
the
phased him and pinned him.
see the WCW no knockout. Do you know what I mean? The cheerleader that came out
Nitro
with Evan
Girls.
Courageous. Like the Nitro girl that came out with Evan Courageous, was that Shawn Michaels' wife?
I don't know.
I'm sure, I can't remember. I'll check that when we go for a tea, but I'm pretty sure. Aye. That's a polite way of saying when I go to take a waz. But what was his wife's name when she was a Nitro?
I have no idea.
Rebecca.
Was it Rebecca?
I think Rebecca or something. I can't remember.
Anyway, she
You've
came down to the
thrown me
ring.
here.
She came down to the ring with an Nitro girl. Sorry, Evan Courageous came down with a Nitro girl, and then she ended up doing the dirty on him. It's not really a spoiler if it's like 15 years old.
You should have actually said spoiler though.
Spoiler.
I know, if somebody could
Spoiler.
be watching that in the network going, oh, mate, check this match out. Oh, Big Fuzz ruined it!
Evan Courageous, I thought you had it in you. Worst gimmick ever, 3 count.
Oh, no, I loved 3
Oh,
count.
brilliant. Was
Shane
it
Helms, Sugar Shane,
Sugar Shane, aye.
and what was the other one? It was one of the Hardys, kind of like pals.
Oh, it was all the tattoos and all that now.
Aye, Ed the Mohawk.
Aye.
Shannon
Shannon
Moore.
Moore. Aye, Shannon
Yes,
Moore. I like Shannon Moore in WWE as well. I like the tag team he was in.
it was better than TNA.
Aye.
Ink
Ink were, aye, they were decent, man.
in the book of Delegaff.
Aye.
Does it look as if I give a flying?
Flying.
No, that's I just changed it.
I know,
PG,
mate, I know.
PG
Go on.
guys,
The PG podcast.
the PG era.
PG podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry to say, guys, we're running out of time now. We're
Oh
at the hour.
Oh,
no!
there's so much still to cover. We've only got through WWE.
I
I know.
make this a bumper one, then we'll do the second half as
So
well.
you're mucking about with talking about Money in the Bank, Ross. Because we still obviously we've got TNA to talk about. We've got all the local kind of jazz.
We'll extend this one, but I'll give you an extra 15 minutes on you.
Oh, yes.
What a guy.
The network has given us extra 15 minutes.
Right,
So, Money in the Bank.
well, the chat was NXT. So we covered the 6-man.
What about
Briefly.
SmackDown? Who's watched that? Yeah.
No, I did watch the highlights with Rollins promo in ring. Brittle.
He was brilliant,
He's
yeah.
putting him. He's trying to psych himself up, going, "Oh, I'm going to beat Brock Lesnar." In fact, he's having to change his nappy.
Aye. But before we move on to SmackDown, what about NXT? We're talking about. Have you all watched NXT?
Oh
for
yes,
this?
aye, Joe.
So,
Oh,
obviously,
Joe and Owens.
Joe and Owens. It was a
That-
kind of non-match.
I could tell it was going to be something like that
Of
because they're not just going to give that. Here's my theory. They gave that match away as a kind of prelude.
Yeah.
2 weeks time, the special in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor's going to win. Devitt is going to stomp a mud hole right through Owens. He's going to win the title there.
I thought Finn Balor was supposed to be fighting
Nope.
Jericho.
Nope.
No.
It's
Neville.
Owens, that's live.
Is it Owens now?
Neville,
Is it? Oh,
It's
I take it they've made that match
And all
because
the-
it's going to be live
All
on
the
the network now.
vignettes. All the vignettes are just like Finn
Right.
Balor arrives.
Right.
And I think he's going to be... See, each time takeover, he's had a different bit
Aye.
of cost. Well, different bit of paint.
Body paint, yeah.
It's going to be over the top. It's going to happen. He's going to beat him.
Aye, I think so. I think they'll move Owens up full time to the WWE. The WWE. It's because I always want to call it WWF. Move up to the main roster. Move Owens up there full
Well-
time, but then or do we leave him in NXT to feud with Joe?
That's what it's going to be next
'Cause-
takeover. It's going to
'cause
be them, and
ultimately-
Joe's just
Aye.
going to wipe him out.
Ultimately, once they don't have a belt on Owens, then it doesn't matter if he gets beat.
Oh, he's going to win the US.
I think so.
Aye.
Like, that's a given. Like
That's that confused the life out of me because up until when he first fought Cena, when
it was just champion versus
I know,
champion,
I know.
not title v
But I know,
title.
but once what I took for it was once they says it was champion versus champion, I was like, why are they not
Cena's
giving
going to win the NXT title.
No,
What?
I was like, why are they not giving him the belt? Why are they not giving him the belt? And I'd messaged you and you were like, it's because it was just champion versus champion. I was like, oh damn, I got myself worked right up for it.
The second one maybe should have been a title match.
Well,
No, Cena's going to win it.
I know. NXT champ Cena, like, oh, he'd be
Owens
booed
and-
out that building.
Owens and Joe, see the intensity between the two of them. I mean,
That's
let's face it,
that's
it's not
King
the-
Kong versus Godzilla.
Let's face it, it's not the first time they've fought. Do you know what I mean? But see, quite near the start, Joe whips him into the corner and he just opens up the Undertaker punches and he just goes mad. He must have
Aye.
threw about 20, 30 body
30
shots.
punches.
And I'm thinking, that's a Samoa Joe, I like. This is brilliant. And Owens sells it well. I can't hear a bad word said about the guy. I think he's brilliant. He's in ring works brilliant. He's talking's brilliant, and he's got a look about him as well. It's the look that he just does not give a damn.
Hey.
Does not give a damn about anything, and the gimmick's working for him. See this whole, I'm doing this for my family, so that's the reason why I'm a total head.
Two for two.
That. 2 for 2. I know, I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. I'm cussing into myself. I just think it's really good. That's for me. That's one of the best, the most working gimmick. It's, do you know, I'm selfish. I'm only in this for my
Is
family.
he a common man?
I don't give a damn about the rest of yous. I don't care if I hurt yous. I'll hurt yous if I need to. He's just a common man.
I knew you realise.
No, I just wanted to finish what I was saying. I like it. It gives you a lot to kind of... Because you look at some of the superstars, and Michelle watches the Total Divas, which I must say I've seen a fair bit of myself.
I've happened to watch all of them as well.
Right,
Yeah.
no, I've only watched what's on the television, and I've not really watched many on the network.
Unfortunately, she's found the network, and
It's
that's
just-
it.
There's a lot more Eva Marie on there, so don't worry, you'll be occupied.
But she gets better. She gets to be Pally when we're not that near the end. Spoiler alert. It's just that you look at that and you see the difference in class. Like, I don't mean like wrestling class, but I mean like lifestyle class. I mean, you see Daniel Bryan, who was top of his game at the time, and he's having to hire a bus route so that like 7 or 8 of them can all get to arenas. Where you've got, but at the same time you've got John Cena, and they're showing you his cars, and he's got like 27 Lambos. And you've seen his house,
Aye.
like the pure marble tabletops, and he won't let Nikki Bella put candles in anything in the place and all that, right? And you're thinking like, to me, that shows John Cena to be untouchable. Do you know what I mean? He's that stage beyond, and that's kind of the reason why I like Owens as well, is because as you say, he's the common man, and you think to yourself, because I mean, watching the vignettes we had before him and Sami Zayn fought, they were showing you like Sami Zayn walking like in the streets in Montreal and that.
Aye,
and
pictures of they two together and stuff.
Kids, and you think it kind of lets you tie in. Whereas John Cena, you think he's got 900 cars and 27 houses, and then he just thought, just for a laugh, he'll buy Nikki Bella a house because she likes it. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Daniel Bryan and Brie like saving up to buy a B&B and stuff like that.
I know,
do you know
like,
what I mean? For
like
buttons.
that's just we'll get off topic of this right away. But the whole can we borrow money? Like,
Aye.
get to
I
hell,
know,
man.
but you know what I mean though, it's like from one extreme to the other, because like at the time Daniel Bryan was the top
dog.
top dog as well, whereas Cena is just
Aye.
he's a cash cow. Do you know what I mean? The money's just he'd be wiping his ass with £30 notes.
£30 notes.
£30 notes.
With his t-shirts, never give up. Always go for another wipe.
Another clanger. Never give up.
Is that something we can mention quickly? Is WWE's weird obsession with the word arse now ever since the Kiss Me Arse match? Like Kane said it like last week. It's
I
just,
think they're
why?
kind of pushing boundaries. Like,
Listen, that's what I was saying. Kevin Owens. That's why I like the gimmick. Is because all your average Joes can get behind it, and it's. I don't know how they're marking it, but to me, it's like the anti-establishment. You've had everything handed to you, and
I've had to bust
I've
my ass for
I've clawed.
years.
I mean, I read some like people moaning because initially Owens had said, you know, I've been wrestling longer than you, when in actual fact, seen I've been in the WWE longer than.
Are you
Owens
sure?
has been
I'm
wrestling.
pretty sure Owens is on
It's
Jericho's podcast.
A
He was
couple of
saying
months or something like
Aye.
that.
technicality, he wins.
Aye, no, but it's just what I mean is like, aye, okay, Cena might have been in the WWE longer, but he's been in the spotlight, whereas Owens he's been fighting in halls with 30 guys, and that's on a good night. So I mean, was it Owens that learned to fight in he learned his
barn.
trade in a market stall?
It was,
that was what
Aye,
he said
a
in the
wrestling ring in a
podcast.
market stall.
A
So
flea
I mean,
market.
whereas- Aye, in a flea market, aye. Whereas Cena would have been at
The Gold's Gym.
aye, the Gold's Gym, followed by the
OVW.
Yep. I was going to say the Asylum.
But that's the thing, like, your bigger guys,
Yeah.
that's what, well, at the time, WWE wants their big guys, their
Aye.
Batistas, Triple H's, big, almost roid guys, you know?
Aye. I'm sure
But-
there's still a few of them that are swept under the carpet. Eh?
Oh, we'll test you every other month.
Aye. Mo Farah. Aye, didn't hear the door go on this one. The boy bought the drug test, but I never answered the door. I didn't hear it.
But,
Aye,
like,
just polish the medals up and put them back in the post, mate.
Yeah, they're going for different styles of different looks now, like
Yep.
Sami Zayn,
Yep.
more kind of cruiserweight. Neville as well, like,
Yeah.
no way would he have been putting money in the bank
Aye.
unless he'd that great a talent.
Yep. But you look
Aye.
at Daniel Bryan and look at, like say, even Punk to an extent. You know, they would never have got where they were if it wasn't for the fans. Do you know what I mean? Because the fans picked him to be
But I was
champions.
saying about Brian, like,
Aye.
Brian get propelled
Aye.
like because of fans. Cesaro
Even
is in the same.
in the same.
even when they
same
try,
path.
even when they try to make them superhero though, they try to get them hating the fans and all the rest of it. And the fans pick up on that because we're not daft.
like reins
Oh, no,
shoved
it
down
is.
her throat. Look
Aye.
strong. He's looking strong.
Never let
Don't
go.
like him. He's looking stronger. Okay.
You know, this is a wee room.
Aye.
You know, but we make it as I'm sure I've heard Triple H saying from time to time as well. Is it's like we pick who we want to be champion. It's
Aye.
not that. It's the year of the internet. It's the style of the internet and the smart marks.
Reality
Yeah.
era.
We all make the decisions. It's like, right, we're going to push such and such the champ. Well, the fans have stopped coming to the shows, so maybe we'll start making this guy. Never get as bad as TNA where you've got an arena with 10,000 folk and you tarpaulin off 9,500 seats.
What I want to say about that whole TNA thing, I just looked up this week and I wonder if there's
Aye,
tickets and stuff for TNA.
Yeah.
They're not doing a Glasgow show.
Aye.
Like, was it that bad this year?
I think it's a
Well-
money thing though. I mean, they can't pay their staff on time. Never mind fly them off or Britain and the UK and Europe.
Well,
Do
the
you
thing
know?
is, they'd probably stay for a week, a
Yeah.
month or so, because they'll do 6 tapings in the space of 3 days. So there's a month and a
Aye.
half. Oh, by the way, while you're here, you might as well do all the indies if you want,
Aye.
just to
Aye.
get an extra pay.
Because that's what, when I was there, it was busy, but it was mostly full with like ICW fans because the new Grado and all that were.
That's the people that buy their tickets on the day.
Aye.
No, that's not the people, but I know a lot of people buy tickets on the day because they're like, well, what will we do the night? Oh, well, there's a wrestling show on and it's not sold out. So, I mean, because how many people do we know that are just like us that like wrestling for the sake of liking wrestling? They want to go and see Everton. So
Like, I never
that's
went to it this year because I was like,
Well,
even with Grado and stuff, I'm just like,
I see me and Jamie have we had an understanding at the time.
the understanding that's falling apart now.
Well, we both worked back shift at the time, so basically Jamie would do one and I would do the other, whether it was like music events or wrestling or the rest. So we'd take turns each. So Jamie's the TNA guy.
I took one for the team.
He took one for the team. The first time he enjoyed it.
First time it was alright.
The second
Apart
time-
from every time they were doing like a backstage segment that I couldn't see nothing.
Or, we're going live! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yay!
Hey! Because they're doing that many
Nothing's
break
happened.
ads.
Would you like to win some free t-shirts? Make some noise.
Ah!
Oh, sorry, there's no t-shirts, but thanks. So how long have we got, Ross? Can we jump into TNA? Or?
Another couple of minutes.
Oh,
So you're
I
sure.
think, forget TNA, go to Lucha.
You're the only one that's watched it now.
Lucha! Lucha!
There was only one
Solo.
match this week.
Now we go over
I know,
to.
all night long, Johnny Mundo against Prince Puma.
Oh, was there only one match?
Aye.
Then
Aye.
I've seen it.
Wait.
45 minutes! Aye.
I thought it was.
Yes, there's 2 of us!
Could we, oh well, that's the segment. We're going over to Mario's corner now.
I know, Lucha Corner. Forget Underground.
The one-man
it's a
band.
corner.
He's just a one-man band.
I swear, see when I saw WWE Bray Head,
Aye.
I hadn't even got into seating yet, and all I could hear is something like that. Three-man band. And every few minutes I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to kill somebody.
Right,
It's
so
just that
back to Lucha.
Aye, sorry. Which it is.
Fantastic. What a match.
Your man Puma. I can't even describe it. Just that's absolutely mental. That's the first any Lucha Underground that I've saw. I haven't
Same
watched
here.
the videos, and Neil and David says it's quite like a TV soap. So
Aye.
Is it actually? It's been nominated for an Emmy.
Is that right?
Aye.
I mean, so I like that because it just makes it's more like EastEnders. Do you know what I mean? Legitimately, now I watch Raw and SmackDown. When MD says, "Are you know a bit old for that?" I'm like, "Well, that's my EastEnders." I mean, you watch Coronation Street. This is my soap. So I mean,
You watch people fling handbags at each other. I watch them fling fists.
it's another one of the things where like people say, I mean, it's all kidology, it's all fake. You're like, just because you know who's going to win something doesn't mean that it's all fake.
I know. I
mean,
could guess
like-
whoever get killed in
I mean,
EastEnders was to blame. You know.
Legitimately, I don't care whether the chair's made of plastic or whether it's made of steel. Getting a chair slammed across your back's going to be sore. Getting put through a
We'll try it when we're off
Aye.
air.
I don't think there's any use brave enough.
Challenge accepted.
A wooden table, balsa wood table. It doesn't matter how big
4
or
tables.
how thick
Oh.
it is. If you're going through a table, it's got to be sore. I mean, look at the last ICW
twi-
event we were at where it was.
Davey.
Renfrew and
Or
Divers.
Divers.
And
The chair
Wolfie.
match.
In the chair
Dolphy.
match. The chair, I mean, that we were front row as we normally are, and that was brutal to see. You just saw the welts all opening up in Renfrew's back, and there was like hunters of blood pouring out of loads
Aye.
of different wee tiny.
That perfect square on his back.
And we were like,
The bit as
where
well
does
where
where does it end for being fun and like to being kind of cheese?
the whole Drew Whippy throwing off the top rope onto
Aye.
that table.
Oh, that near.
That's
we
normally
thought-
where we would have
thought there was
sat.
legs getting broke. We
Aye.
thought it was legs getting broke. What a match! What Mikey Whiplash. We'll go into that later on, but Mikey Whiplash.
Aye.
Like, so,
Lucha,
aye, Lucha.
fantastic.
Yeah, man,
See,
Puma's something else.
see, on top of how great the match was,
Yep.
fundamentally selling.
Aye.
Puma, crowbar to the head,
Yeah.
3 pins right away. Perfect.
Aye.
Perfect. It just puts over. It was spangled for about 5 to 10 minutes, just laying it out while Mundo's setting up tables and whatever.
Johnny Nice
Perfect.
was a missed talent, isn't he?
Oh,
Aye.
honestly, see if he was in WWE right now, him and Rollins would be perfect. Him and Neville would be
Aye.
perfect.
I think your man Puma, but it's exactly what the WWE needs. Imagine putting him in the ring with Callisto and
Have
Sin
a
Cara Mark II.
have like more 3-man tags. Like, see when
Aye.
they had the Shield and the
Yeah.
Wyatt family and who was the other one? There was another 3-man
Was
team.
it Shawn Michaels and Davey Jones for doing the scheme and
Marty Jannetty.
Marto?
No, there was another one, and then an article came on WWE or our 3-man tag team
Was it a
championship.
3-man band?
I was like, oh, now this is interesting. But they never done it.
Well, we keep talking about the Freebird rule as well. If they'd kept some of the stables together the way they are, it would have been.
I thought they were going to do that with Shield when they had the tag
Aye,
titles.
'cause
Like, oh, maybe Ambrose and Rollins or
Aye, they'll defend
Ambrose
it this
and
week.
exactly.
Yeah.
But honestly, Lucha Underground, I'm going to have to start watching.
I'm the same. What I'm planning on doing is legitimately downloading them. Maybe
Legitimately.
Or maybe the last five or six or something. Depending on how much I like
I think
it,
all of
I'll
them are on
prefer
YouTube
that.
anyway,
Aye,
so there's no need to torrent stuff and illegally download stuff.
I wouldn't do that anyway, mate.
Because that's bad.
Every one of them that does torrents and stuff gets a middle finger.
Well, not a few of them.
No, a lot of people that do that.
But it seems to be that it's one step closer to it being a proper soap. But the in-ring works something else. I mean, that, as I say, Johnny Nitro. So what's his name? Johnny Mundo? Johnny Mundo.
Mundo.
We'll just call him Johnny, yeah.
Ah, Johnny. Oh, Johnny.
I do think he's a missed talent, but it was... Why did he leave the WWE again?
I think his contract ran out and he just wanted some time off.
Yeah.
Not
I think it was the
Not the other
Melina.
stuff.
get flying high.
Oh, it was the Melina stuff.
Because Melina was
She
always
was
causing
away.
heat backstage, you know.
Ah, wasn't she
Trish
doing the
Stratus
splits
and
on Batista and stuff?
I was thinking with Trish Stratus as well, like she thought she was stealing a spot at Mania 27 and she sort of went after her.
Aye.
That's
Didn't
right.
they have like Snooki or something
Aye.
steal the match?
Aye.
that's
Aye,
right.
that was it.
It was the fact Trish was in it as well, and she'd obviously not been there since like 2006, so she wasn't too happy.
I think, is he another talent where the door's always open? I think, I know I always read that.
Well,
always
you've
read
got-
that, but see whenever you get a Money in the Bank match or that, I always think, where's Shelton? Where's Benjamin? Where's
Yeah.
Johnny Nitro? Because they were the epitome of the matches.
Aye.
I think Shelton Benjamin, I mean, for
He should
a bigger guy, for the high spots that he took and for the botches that he made, they made for some classic TV and
Like
Money in the
running
Bank
up that
matches.
ladder.
Yeah.
The three ladders.
Oh,
Was I three ladders when you run up one for the outside,
Then
onto the big ladder, then onto the big ladder?
I can't.
That was Mania 25, I think he did that
Yep.
one now.
Like, honestly, how did he never get pushed? Like, they had Mama Benjamin in.
Oh god.
See, to be honest, when he was with Angle and Haas,
Oh,
the World's Greatest Tag Team, the best gimmick ever. I'd see the two of them together. They had Angle as a mouthpiece, and then obviously they feuded
well,
with Angle as well.
look
didn't
what
they?
happened to a lot of people like that. Like, you had the Edgeheads,
Aye.
you had World's Greatest Tag Team.
Yeah.
Like, you have an established star, like Shadow, well, just like Ascension.
Aye.
Undertaker should have been the
Aye.
like dark figure,
I
maybe
just-
behind him, just pushing him in the right direction. That would be a killer tag team.
See, when they first started as well, I thought they sent. I mean, because I'd seen Conor O'Brien in like NXT, like before it was NXT. So when it was like the show, or the kind of tough enough show.
FCW.
No, when it was like tough enough, when it was like the tough enough show. I'd seen Conor O'Brien, and he was just kind of just another run of the mill guy. And then they kind of beefed him up a wee bit.
And
But
Bram get done for beating up a police officer.
Aye, but see when they put him and Bram together and they had him in as they started as the Ascension, I was like, this is good. This is what
Aye.
they need. They kind of like the demon almost zombie-like. Get in, get the work done, take no prisoners, job's a good one. And I thought, see when they get the call up to the main roster, I thought this is going to be good. Obviously Bram had been fun to do it, and they brought in Mini Bram. I thought, do you know what, it still works. The two of them are good, they're decent, they're alright. They're not brilliant, but they're good.
That's the thing, they're not given a chance to look good.
And then they brought them, because the matches in NXT with Kalisto and Sin Cara and the rest were decent matches.
American Pitbulls as well.
Yep.
That was, even though it was a squash, it was still a good match.
Yep.
You had Too Cool against them as well and stuff.
It's just, I don't understand why they brought them up to the main roster to bury them. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's exactly what they've done. They brought them up and they buried them.
I know, Legion of Doom gimmick, and then all these old timers are going to wipe you out.
See you in the whole segment when you had Nash and Hall and that in the ring, and they brought in the other tag teams, and then JBL kind of sauntered in, and he's like, I knew this was going to happen, so I phoned a friend. I was like, I was jumping about the living room. Yes, APA. The big Ron coming in there. He's never aged. Honest to God,
he's a vampire, honestly.
Keanu Reeves just sauntering into the ring, and I was like, jeez, oh. But then that clothesline for hell, I don't care what age JBL gets to, that's never going to look less painful.
No.
Renfrew does it perfectly. Chris Renfrew in ICW. Like,
was it Blue Meanie at one of the one night stands?
First one night stands,
first one,
JBL
just
goes
wipes
out
him
for
out.
him.
Just like, takes him right out of his shoes.
Aye,
But then there was a lot of backstage heat with that as well, wasn't there?
that's what I was about to say.
He broke his nose. I think he broke his
He
nose.
broke his nose, aye.
I had the job to him in SmackDown after that.
Aye, just didn't like the cut of Blue Meanie's jet.
But that's the thing, like, he got away unscathed, didn't he?
That's
For that?
because of where he was though. He's JBL. He's
I know,
got
he's
power,
made his own money, so he doesn't. He does that as a side project, basically.
That's it. He's a wealthy old man. Remember Justin Hawk Bradshaw? He's just the Black Jack Mulligan, wasn't he?
Aye. I saw Lucha.
Aye. See, we keep filtering away from what we were talking about. So Lucha, aye. I think the High Flyers are brilliant.
Like, did you watch? Look at the gift that I'd sent you.
No, which one?
It was Pentagon Junior.
No.
It was like there's some Lucha girl there,
Right.
and he had her on his back, kind of like the Gory Bomb,
Right.
and he had someone else for a package pile driver at the same time,
Nice.
and just like boom, double move, like,
Nice.
and then see where the office was.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I saw a gif of that, like somebody running off
Running
of
out
that,
and just throwing
right in the
herself
ring,
into
just
the
like
ring.
Aye.
cross
I
body.
saw
Like,
that one.
That's right.
Jesus.
Well, you're talking about Lucha Underground. I was reading either last night or the night before, seemingly Dixie Carter and who's the other guy? That's
Billy
quite high
Corgan?
up? maybe no.
John
Might have been.
Gaboric.
Can't remember. But anyway, they've they've approached through Mysterio, seemingly, and they've been talking to him about basically making him their Mexican. Well, they've been as racist as I can be. They're trying to make him their Mexican, their go-to Mexican guy, but seemingly, I don't think
El
Mysterio's for
Patron.
it.
Like, honestly, like, see his involvement in that
Yeah.
match in Lucha,
Aye.
and
Just
the little
the kick down the
highlights.
stairs.
Aye, like the little bit at the start showing Mundo throwing him through the
Through
window
the
and stuff.
window.
Like,
I've saw that bit, and then when I go to start watching it, Son Hams. But I've saw like bits of it on like Twitter and stuff, like, because I follow them, and you kind of like see some of the spots.
That's I'd seen the gifs not long after it happened, and I just went, Fuzz, look at Lucha's Twitter right now.
I was just saying about Mysterio.
So technically, I have watched the match.
Aye.
Just the high spots.
I was saying I was reading about Mysterio possibly Dixie Carter being in talks with him, but it seems to look like he's going to end up in Lucha.
I would like to see that.
Same with Del Rio again. I mean,
Aye.
let's face it, Del Rio and Rey Mysterio should have been some of the best matches that the WWE could produce for that kind of that genre, but they get held back a lot. You know, there's moves that they would normally do. I mean, Mysterio, he's a bit of a fat Mexican now, but he can still fly when he needs to be. Do you know what I mean? At least I never call him a junkie.
It's a different subject altogether. Top 5 junkies in wrestling.
Martin for the scheme.
Dave's wee brother, aye. But I'm pretty sure he can still move. I know he's got bum knees and the rest, but if the Lucha Underground, as you say, is just like kind of one match recorded every now and again, then, and it's more scripted, then it must be more controlled, and that allows them to do the higher spots. It allows them to look like maniacs. So I'm sure it would be better for Mysterio. Because he's not on the road.
Doesn't need to do every single
Well, that's it.
event. He could do
He's
one
no-
every 4 or
He's
something.
not 300 days on the road. With
It's
two
kind of
dodgy
like
knees.
NXT. Like they film, is it 3 or 4
Aye.
shows in the winter,
Aye.
and then they'll do live shows that will give them time to train in the wellness centre and
Yeah.
whatever. Like, so something like that for a lighter schedule would be perfect for him,
Aye, I
winding
think so.
down.
Like, that's probably one of the reasons why he doesn't want to do TNA either, is because even although it's a break for the WWE 300 odd days on the road, it's still probably more than his knees will hold it for him. Because he's nothing but bother with him.
I look at Angle, his back's a bit to break, honestly. Like
Yeah, I think
every time I see him do a moonsault, I'm like, oh my god, is this it?
I think Kurt Angle's getting to the stage now he's getting held together with duct tape. He's honestly the guy. Perfect
Crazy
way.
glue.
The perfect way to beat Angle is you give him a backstabber, because he can't turn his head round. He can't turn his head round without turning his whole body.
Wait, never can Batman.
Well, that's true. And that's how you beat Batman. I think there's always pictures of Bane breaking his back. Aye, Bane broke his back, didn't he? There
Couldn't
you
see
go.
him.
That's how you beat Batman. You need to be light on your feet though.
And on that note, I think we'll need to end it there.
Tap out.
We're tapping it.
Tap it! Yes!
And if you'd like to hear more from East and Bartonshire Radio, visit our Mixcloud page at mixcloud.com/EDRadio, facebook.com/EDRadio, and our Twitter at ED_radio. Thanks for joining us, guys.
EDR. Connecting the Campsie communities.
This is Eastern Bartonshire Radio.